Hello everyone, and welcome back to day 28 of the 30-day building challenge with me and Lucy. We are just a couple days away from finishing, which is absolutely crazy. It's insane. But here we are, we're gonna keep the momentum going by working more in this area. Last time we built this little fishing hut, which is very cute. And the more I look at it, the more I like the bamboo. At first I was like, and now I'm like, yeah. So I'm gonna keep using that bamboo and I actually built a little house here. And I think this section over here is our best bet because not only is it more visually interesting if these houses don't line up perfectly, because we're gonna make some sort of maybe street or something here, but also I can't be bothered moving all these animals. So we're gonna upgrade the pen to make it look nicer, but we're not necessarily gonna move everything per se. So the question I have here is, if we're gonna be building out the same materials here, how do we make this build look interesting? We are already sticking to quite a lot of theming here with the blocks, with the shapes. We're already sticking to a lot of very similar looks here with the blocks used across the base with the flat roofs. If we keep using the exact same blocks, how do we make it look good? That's the question. So I guess the first thing to do is kind of come up with an interesting shape, right? This is completely flat. Let's do something that's got maybe multiple floors for a start. I have a vision where this is like one section, and then we have a very slightly taller second section, and then we have a little bit more decoration on the roof. I know it sounds vague, but trust me on this. So we want to go slightly larger for this side, and I think I might even go out a block here, maybe. One block outwards, and then very slightly taller, maybe 2 blocks. And then we're kind of running out of space here, but I suppose I can always just clear some land. It's gonna be quite a big little farmer's cottage, I guess. It's not gonna be more of a cottage, but more of a townhouse that's got a bunch of sheep and cows, but hey, maybe that's just the vibe. Okay, I think for what I was envisioning, this might be slightly too wide, but we're gonna work with it because I do want a lot of space in here. So because it's so wide, the kind of height difference between two shapes, I feel like it's a little bit lost. I don't know, it doesn't stand out the way I wanted it to. So what we're gonna do is actually add like a third little section here that kind of joins the shapes together and makes this a little bit more cohesive. So let's see what I can do. I'm getting defeated by a vine right now. Let's bring this back a block or two. Let's see, where should we start it? I think 2 blocks back is maybe good. How do we join the shapes together? Honestly, maybe not overthinking it too much. Let's go in like this, and then like this. This is very slightly taller than the first in this other build here, and then maybe this will do. Let's see. Okay, I think I want this 1 more block taller. Just so it doesn't blend in quite as much from this angle. It kind of perfectly lines up, see, because of the perspective. We're gonna make it 1 block taller. That is actually quite good. I like that shape. We have 3 kind of points of interest here, and none of them are really clashing with each other yet. We'll see what it looks like once I add the rest of the walls and everything. But I think I'm pretty happy with the shape. I'm gonna keep the back very simple. We don't need to overthink the back because that's to the jungle. Nobody cares about that. So let's see, is this too long? Oh, okay. I think that's fine width-wise. From the side, we wanted to kind of extend past the pen at least a little bit, so that should work for me. And then we can honestly kind of work around the street. Again, we're gonna try to keep the big trees alive because it is the jungle, so we can go up into this section here. And actually, as I'm working on this little wonky shape, I'm realizing that this is very reminiscent to the other build I did, which is this one here. It's got kind of a lot of funny little corners and nooks and crannies in here. So I guess we're kind of sticking with the theme here. I mean, look at this place. There's a lot of little things going on with the way it's sectioned. So I guess this is Blue House. I guess this is the Blue House part 2. The shape is kind of shaping, so you know the drill. Let's put some walls in, and that's a floating tree. How long have I had a floating tree here? We're gonna go for sandstone and a little bit of texturing, and I'm just gonna basically build the whole thing out of sandstone for now and go back in for textures a little bit later. The shape is fully visible now, and one thing I do want to point out is that the blocks on this top kind of section they're not inset like the other walls are. I couldn't make it work space-wise because otherwise we literally wouldn't have a room up there, which kind of felt bad, but also I think it's good to have a little bit of a difference here from everything else, and I think it's gonna work regardless. So that's just one little thing. And here I think maybe we should bring this out a little bit. Yeah, maybe. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with that corner there, but I feel like that corner is important just to make it feel a little bit unique. Actually, maybe not. It's gonna take me a little while of messing around. So before I texture everything, I'm gonna kind of try to nail down where the windows would be and see how many we even need to create like an interesting shape. Let's see, this is quite a big section, so maybe this one's also got a door, but we go for like, oh, wait. Oh, very symmetrical-ish. Reminds me of the Windows logo because it's kind of their windows. Oh my god, that was terrible. Right, but I do think that's an interesting symmetrical shape we could maybe work with for the window. I have really been enjoying using scaffolding as windows, so I'm gonna do my best to make it work here as well. Especially because this is all bamboo themed and I can definitely get away with it. It's going to make the doors very slightly tricky, but I think it's going to work. But look at those shapes. Look at those really strong defined corners. We're cooking with something here and I hope it's good and I'm not going to burn it because there's a lot of really strong elements here. I'm kind of worried that once I do texture this, it's going to be a lot, but maybe a lot is just the vibe of the base anyways. Here we go. I have left it very basic here on the texturing for a reason. I think the really strong shapes already draw your eye. We don't need much going on here. So the texturing is there. It's very simple, but I think it works. And I actually really like how the top has the smooth sandstone. It's just very little bit lighter than normal sandstone. And I think that looks so cute. So now it's up to detailing. First question is, do I want to do this? Because I always do this, but I feel like with these windows, it might look a little bit funky. It definitely looks funky. This is so much already that I don't think we need those little shutters above. We could maybe add it here. Although, why does that feel like it's bad? Does it need to be a block lower? Am I just bad at placing things? That's a little bit better, but still I don't like it. So maybe no shutters on these windows. We just have the bamboo. But then the outside does fall a little bit flat, so maybe one shutter above the door. Maybe that's it. Okay, I think next up though, we're gonna want to use this pen and kind of bring it towards the build a little bit more. So I'm thinking actually we can kind of maybe fence this off in a fun way to give a little bit more life to the build. How about this? Kind of curves around. And then we could also extend the pen out this way. No, that looks ugly. Maybe out this way. Yeah. And now I don't actually have a gate in here. So maybe step number one is to get a gate in. Which can probably go like around here. There we go. Take down this middle fence. And all of a sudden you guys have a lot more room over here to have fun. Have fun instead of being crammed in. Okay, we're gonna have some cows coming in towards the front of the house. That's okay. Maybe we can put some cauldrons there with water or some hay bales. Wait. Not what I expected. Okay, wait. This can't be. No. Okay, we're gonna need to get rid of this window. Move, out, you out. These ones, maybe that one specifically. Oh no, this one too. It's gonna need to be fence. Does this throw me off? No, it's fine. Although I do think that one over there also needs to be fenced just to make this whole side of the building match. And then because we're using fence, we can actually add the shutters. I think that will look fine. Oops, again. What have I done? Okay, on one hand, I love it. Okay, it's so soothing to the eye. It actually, there's something so satisfying about this build, which by the way, I just want to mention, it's giving me like Diglett vibes. Like Doug Trio. If you see it, you see it. It's the shape, I think it's the shape. So on one hand, a very satisfying build. Something about this just feels nice, it feels lovely, it feels cozy, but also it's kind of like if you were to order like a meat feast pizza and you got a margarita instead. It's a terrible comparison, a terrible analogy, but it makes sense in my brain. Look at this thing. It's got no flavor to it. It's got the base down. It's got everything it needs, but it doesn't have the flavor. Where's the spice, man? Where's the spice? So anyways, we're gonna add some spice. I don't know how yet. I think color. First off, color will do the trick, but also I think, remember what I said about making this roof different? I think I need to actually do that instead of this, because this is kind of boring. So where's my scaffolding? Let's go up. I'm gonna try using this bad boy, the mosaic blocks. People are scared of them, including me. I'm people. Hi. But we're gonna try to use these and see if, here goes our lantern, if this helps at all, even a little bitty. And then we could also add a lot more detailing on this with maybe slabs. I've broken the wrong block there. Now that's gonna bother me if I don't put it back. Yeah, we're gonna try to add maybe detailing with fence posts. Because at the moment, this kind of pattern very similar to that, which by the way kind of ties it in, so it might work. Ooh. I've realized I've gotten really comfortable making weird noises. Sort of. Maybe we're halfway there. Needs something else. It needs something else. I don't want to add too much color, but maybe we could put some banners and flowers in. I did leaf spam like crazy, and that is because the more we're getting into this jungle, the more crazy I can let myself be, so leaf spam. Okay, we have the mosaic blocks and we have the, whatever these are called, strip blocks of bamboo. And they're both kind of difficult blocks to use, but I think it kind of works here. Actually, I don't like the way this looks, but other than that, I think it kind of works here. It's still a little bit boring, but slightly less so. Slightly less than before. So let's add a little bit of color. I think that's the only thing we need. We don't need to do much more here with this roof. In fact, we could truly kind of send it into being a terrace or a balcony. So we could add maybe something on the roof. I don't know what yet. Guys, I absolutely love it. Tell me, is this not an improvement? All I needed was some flowers, it fixed everything. Hi. I also really love this little lamppost thing. I don't know what to call it, but it's cute. It adds a little bit of character. We've got that blue and orange coming in from the banner. I don't think it clashes with the red accents anywhere because it's kind of on its own little thing. I don't know, I think it looks really cute. It looks like a little thing you'd find in a town or city hanging off the walls that has like the flags or something. So yeah, really like that actually. And I don't think it needs more. Obviously, I need to do the insides at some point. Unfortunately, today is not that day because I am lazy and I like building exteriors more. So yeah, this is it for today's build. What do you guys think? Is this too similar to the other builds I have in my base? I'm kind of leaning towards yes, but also it's unique enough where I think it's cohesive without being too boring. Look at this little thing. Cute, it's got a rooftop garden. I'm going to need to do something with this one at some point, and it's not really turned out to be the farmhouse vibe I wanted. It's more of a townhouse, but not townhouse as in modern townhouse, but townhouse as in a big village building. Still very cute. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in day 29. Crazy. See you next time. Goodbye.